Seth,
yes.
We did it in a day, did we not?
We did it in a day. We've done the 24-hour Mr. Beast film in a day, 24-hour challenge.
Do not film in a day. Do not film in a day. I forget when you said it, but you did make a good point where so many filmmakers try to make, well, so many student filmmakers try to make something, you know, serious and emotional and dark. And, you know, it was a good contrast to make something that was, you know, as ridiculous and silly as possible.
Right, and that's very easy for me to do because I'm a very silly guy.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
We were going over the script, making edits to it. I suggested a few edits to it or a few like name changes to some of the characters. And I was also present for the casting calls. I was the one reading the script so they could bounce off me, read their lines for the character they were auditioning for.
I didn't realize they would film your audition. That was new for me. I was not ready for that. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. You didn't have to prepare anything for the audition, stuff like that. Just a lot of differences in how they do things, and it was really, really fun. A good introduction for me.
You know, there were some people that hadn't acted before, and well, for most of the cast, they hadn't really acted before. But for Spencer, he's a theater actor. He played Wagner, like the right-hand goon, and during his audition, he was a bit more performative. So, you know, and he and I discussed this afterwards, where theater acting is different from film acting.
This was much different than acting in high school. I mean, you had a camera in your face, and that was terrifying, especially during the interviewing process when we started auditioning. That was terrifying. Wait, I didn't order.
The boss is cut off as they stick their hand into the package that Ernie delivered. And when
Yeah!
a bear trap snaps around their hand.
Seth texted me. He was like, you should audition for these parts. So I did, and he was like, I think you'd be funnier if you shut up. So I got Goon 1, and it was really good.
I just tried to listen to what Tony, the director, had for ideas. Like the one shot was like inspired by Daredevil fight scene. Yeah. Yeah. I just tried to listen to him, and just any ideas that we both had just shared together. We met and threw ideas and like went through the story, obviously the script.
Back up and just hear snapping for a bit, and then we come out, Wagner runs away, Goon comes out, and then Deliver slams box on top of Goons, and then we pan up to Deliver, they turn, and then run away.
A lot of the exteriors of a lot of the dorm buildings, we did not use at all. We mainly focused more on like that postal office building. That it's mainly where we started.
Yeah.
And then as we went along, we focused more into Hurley building.
Want to take off the glasses? Stick them right here.
They can just disappear.
They can just disappear.
Yeah, you can just... The first scene where they're outside hiding behind the bush, we had planned out our shots, like we had planned the whole thing out. But then on the day, it was much brighter outside than we initially intended, so we were in shadow and the background was super blown out. So I had to come up with new shots as we shot it. You know, I think that was the domino effect that caused us to shoot until midnight.
The whole entire premise of the actual video was to have it from morning to night. We wanted it literally in one day. So that's what we did. We went in at 9 o'clock in the morning when it was like shadowy and the sun wasn't fully up. It was freezing, by the way. And each scene was a different time of day. So we had to go sequentially, because if not, we wouldn't have gotten the same times.
So we like met that day. We hadn't met each other before.
So like at first, like I don't know, like it's obviously like awkward small talk, but like as the day kept on going, like you could see like the chemistry definitely like build up, and like how easy the job was to do.
I don't know, we had to move together, kind of. We were kind of just like tied together the whole time.
Angie, the Deliverer, she wasn't really used to acting on screen. And so she would deliver a line and then immediately look to camera with a smile like, oh, did I do a good job, boss? And, you know, I had to keep telling her, like, wait till I say cut before you break character.
Or debating the box size a little. They were like, this box is a little too tiny. And this box is a little too big. We want it funny, you know? So we settled on a medium funny box. Every artist hates being put in a box. That really hurt.
Sorry.
Should be hard to see that bad.
Oh.
You're good.
Great.
And Quinn, he was Goon 3. He was the tall guy in the hallway that gets knocked over the head, and that was the one scene that he was in, but he was behind the camera with us for most of the day.
When it was really sunny, I had to hold a blanket over the camera.
Being tall really helped for that one.
Any scene involving running was kind of annoying because it's like we had to get like quite a few takes of that.
I'm not slow at running, but carrying that damn bag that I had was the most frustrating thing because all of a sudden it's just hitting against your leg and you're also in public just running randomly with this huge bag. Like, it was funny, and it was also difficult because I had to stay in character but also start running around the corner out of breath. Like, I don't know, it was a weird scene, but I think it was pretty simple to do. And then there was another scene where I had to stare at my hand or my wrist for a good minute while Tyler raised his hands up and wrapped a watch around my wrist. That was so funny to me. I thought that was the best thing. And it was so hard to like sit there and not laugh while he was doing this because it was hilarious.
It was really funny. I liked how it was just never explained, how my hand would just pop into frame. I liked that aspect, and I think it was cool how I got to add some of my own stuff to where like I ended up handing like Angie a box and stuff, and it was just like a lot of funny stuff. And I remember watching it afterwards, got a lot of laughs, so I was like, hell yeah, like that was cool.
This is like my first time acting on screen, so I guess like the whole thing is kind of challenging because it's new.
I really liked Marcus's character in this, so like seeing how he got into his character was funny, and I had a point where I was spraying him with a water bottle just because he has to be sweating in the scene, and that was like really funny because I would just spray him like 100 times.
By the end of it, I was like pretty soaked. I just encouraged them to keep spraying me, and like the wetter the better, you know what I mean?
One time we had to go from I think it was the Mara townhouses to Hurley Hall, all like connected. So that
the mail room to Hurley, I think.
Sound coming through. Yeah. Kind of a big deal.
Moving locations was really funny with the boom operator. It just looked like that Diary of the Wimpy Kid scene when like Greg and Rowley are like leading the kids on the safety patrol.
Get this picture right now. Hardest album covers.
Take all the packages that would normally be delivered.
The shot outside of Hurley when Ernie gets kidnapped.
Oh God.
We tried shooting it, but it was around like 6 o'clock that we were shooting.
I want to say 5 o'clock.
It was like 5, 6-ish, and cars were still going down the road, so we couldn't get any audio.
Oh my God, the cars.
So so every time we wanted to shoot, there would be a car, 2 cars passing around the road, and I would just be like, come on.
You just could not get clean audio from that.
You know how it is on the campus. There's some people that like to flex their big boy cars.
Get in here.
There were some times where an actor or an extra would suggest like, oh, what if we did X, Y, Z? I'm like, that's an excellent idea. And so we'd run with it, and then it ended up being awesome.
My line as the goon was an improvisation because we were doing the kind of rehearsal to see how it would look, and I just said that, and then Tony just thought it was funny, so we did it, and that was like fun because I'm glad I got to like say something.
Tony was very clear in his direction, but he also was willing to let us, even as like the goons, which are pretty inconsequential characters, he let us have some freedom with it.
I tried to make it as collaborative as I could while still remaining my film. And obviously it's a collective group effort, but like creatively, it was as me as I could make it. Derek and Tyler, they played Goon 4A and 4B, and they were, whenever they weren't on screen, they were helping us on set. You know, it was just really nice having people be cast and crew.
With the other goons that were pulling off the mail theft. Yeah, that's the plot. We were joking around on the side about how evil we were.
Every time they had a moment talking about Goon 4A and 4B getting their own spin-off sequel or masterminding it all or stuff like that.
Just kind of like trying to get into my goon character was kind of funny. I was kind of like trying to get method with it.
We needed Goon 3 and 4, and I just said, yeah, I'll be 4. And then Tyler also wanted to be 4, and I think I don't know if it was pride or ego, but neither of us wanted to budge. So then we were both Goon 4. We're both competitive guys, so I don't think either of us were letting go of the Goon 4 role. Yeah. Goon 4A, he's loyal. He's there for the cause. He was doing what the boss was telling him to do. He was there. He was punctual. He was on time. Did his job. Did what he's told. And in the end of the day, it didn't work out for him. But I think he's probably a good friend. To Goon 4B. So that loyalty and friendship is really inspiring for my character.
Cut. I literally looked at the camera. Dude, I'm so sorry.
For me, when I was playing Wagner, I ended up getting not a whole lot of you're just the right-hand man. So I was a little curious about the relationship between me and the boss and stuff like that.
I really had fun playing the boss. The direction I was given was basically to do Jack Horner from Puss in Boots. And I don't know, I think I did it well.
Figuring out that door scene was also huge. Like I said, they totally changed how they were going to do it. And at one point, the producer Seth comes up and he's like, "Oh, so how did that feel?" We did it a little bit slower, and me and Angie were looking at each other like, "No, we need to do it a bit faster." He's like, "Okay, we do it a bit faster," and they were concerned for my safety. And I pop out from behind the door. I'm like, "No, we can do it faster."
That was great.
Was that bad?
That is it. Faster.
Go on, hit me. And they're like, "Okay." So then they do it really fast, and the shot really kind of worked for that. And it went really, really well.
Dolly's gonna come in. She's gonna go in here as we turn and go backwards. Then Wagner and
It was getting very late, and we were just trying to race the clock because Angie had to get home for like a curfew, so we were trying to just race the clock, getting like the climax all filmed up.
And it's like already 11 p.m. and we're still doing shots, and it's like, I'm telling my parents like I'm gonna be home by this time, and they're like, "You're not home yet. Like, when are you coming home?" So then there's that issue.
Tony was focused on how the shot was going to look, so he was working with the cameraman, and Seth was focused on 100 other things. So at a certain point, I just pulled 3 PAs and said, "You're going to stand here, you're going to stand here, you're going to stand here," handed them the mouse traps and how to like put it on my clothes, and then we just figured it out from there, which was really, really funny because they couldn't figure out how to do it logistically. I just moved people, we came in, and then the scene actually got shot kind of very smoothly.
Like, we had rehearsed it over and over again for them to enter the room, everyone puts the clothespins on, and then we push them back out. And I thought the actors always did a really good job with that.
We tried to at first put the quasars and the lighting all onto the sides, thinking that would help, but the problem was those were coming into the shot, so that was a big obstacle, I believe. So I was holding a light, a PA was holding a light, we had the director holding a light, and then just following behind, doing our dolly shot.
So like there was one take where like the dolly, moves past, and you can just see us like just standing there. Yeah. Just looking out, and it's like, okay, we need to redo this.
Time for me to go home.
Now my mom.
I'm saying this because I didn't know it was weird until I got there, but apparently it's very weird that it was all filmed in one day.
Seth made a schedule to film this whole movie in one day. There were positives to that, and there were definitely negatives to that as well. It was effective in getting the whole thing done within the one day because everyone was there. It was one big day of being a project, and then it was done. But you could definitely see it on the actors and the crew that it was definitely a long day.
I think he broke labor laws with how long we were filming. thank the Lord, I guess he wasn't paying people, so we can't really sue him against the labor laws being broken. But I kind of wish I could.
All his decision, definitely.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You authorized it.
I authorized it, and I also said that might work, but...
So the thing was, we had done all our auditions, and he wanted me to make a hierarchy of casting choices because it's like, oh, like, you know, this is the person we want, but if they're not really available, then we're going to have, you know, this person go. And in trying to figure out the schedule, we realized that on Thursday the 20th, there was some event happening and there were no classes that day. So we knew everyone had that day off, both our cast and our crew, because everyone was students here. And, you know, because all of our scenes took place at different times of the day, and because we knew everyone was available, I just looked at Seth like, you know, what if everyone filmed in one day?
And what a great idea.
Honestly, it was very, very hilarious when I came back at the end of the day, because I was there for the beginning of the day, and then the middle of the day, I went off, did my own thing, came back around 6, and we were working till midnight that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got finished filming by around, like, I think it was 11:45, 11:50 when we got the final shot that we needed. So everybody was like, oh, it's been such a long day. And I came back refreshed, having taken a nap, gone to a couple of classes, and I felt good. And they came back and they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, come on, it's fun. I had a good attitude and everyone else was getting a little exasperated because it's just such a long day.
Yeah, the energy had kind of dwindled.
It was pretty funny.
I think it was like a good mix of like stressful, but also like fun. Like I think like their biggest issue was trying to film it all in one day for sure, which I know they've like probably learned from that, but it caused a lot of stress on the set.
Why does he get doesn't matter. We literally don't have time to debate.
Overall, like they all kept a really good attitude even when things got like extremely stressful. So it was definitely a good experience, and I think if we had more time, it would have been even better.
I don't know if this will get cut because so we filmed on 420. That was the day of all time. And he said no one could smoke weed on set. And it was an all-day thing. And I was kind of upset. And then everyone got sunburned really bad. If you look at, we filmed in order. So if you look at Angie later on, she's like a little redder than everyone else. And I got super red. I burned really badly. And I was just tired. And I also get pollen allergies, so I just looked awful. And then Seth was like, you know what? You could go home, Bridget. Good job. But I had a super fun time.
Like, there was a lot of people there, and we all kind of just, like, we hated it, but we loved it. Like, everyone hated that it wasn't a day. We were all exhausted. We were all frustrated with each other. But I think it built kind of not like a family, but like a little tiny community.
You want more? Okay.
Ow. Ow. After the filming, we had to record some audio, and it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that, so that was definitely tough personally, trying to like capture, you know, the idea that the director had, because they give you like a couple lines to do, and they say just try it out a couple different ways, and trying to work out what the best ways to do are.
Ooh, ow! Ugh. I needed sound design to really fill the space due to the somewhat lacking visual, because we didn't really show a lot of the action, and it's like we have to imply it somehow. How we're going to do that? We do it for the sound design. We like hear and hear the action mostly, and that's how we will somewhat save it and make it actually show that action happened.
Liver puts a box on their head, and then there's a bunch of mouse traps. We'll edit the sound in later.
Usually I do think that music can be like half of storytelling, and, you know, can really push a character's story forward. You know, like in Star Wars, like you'll have like a leitmotif of like, you know, whenever someone uses the Force, you know, you'll have the Force theme play, and then, you know, throughout the rest of the franchise, whenever anyone uses the Force, you have that play, and it brings some unity to the whole story.
You know, I really did like the intro bit and just the way that came together in the last like half an hour I had to work on it. I I really enjoyed that. I was really looking forward to scoring a fight sequence when I first heard about it, but by the time we got around to it, the intro and outro is definitely the part I was most proud of.
I wanted to fade in and have this just wash of neon green covering the crowd. I thought that would have been really cool. All you need is Seth just showing up and then people scream. You don't need to do anything extra. He already is extra.
A little bit of criticism against some of my choices, but often I'd be like, hey, here's why I made the choice. You see how many bad takes there are. I can't use those, as you obviously see. And then I'm like, oh, you're right.
What is your least favorite thing about Seth Rigby?
Oh, God.
Oh, where do I begin?
He is so tall. He's tall, yeah. Yeah, no, I like Seth. Maybe that he eats bananas from the middle out. That I don't like that. So I'll go with that. Seth Rigby eats bananas from the middle outwards. I don't like that.
Oh my God, the day that he tried the different ratios of milk and lemonade to see when it got worse.
Very wacky, to say the least.
Very,
out of the box.
I don't think there was a box, but.
There are times where like Seth would kind of be a little crazy, a little overbearing, but you know, it's stressful being a producer.
I love that he does what he does, even if he doesn't feel the strongest about it or knows that it maybe wasn't his best choice. He doesn't backtrack and try and make up for his mistakes. He sticks by them, tries to learn from them, and keeps going with it. So I think he's a great person to work with, even if I don't always agree with 100% of his choices.
I wouldn't even say hate. Something I loved about Seth was on set he'd run everywhere. Like
he's such a runner.
Like literally, if someone's like two feet away, he'll run full speed there. Wow, this dude has so much energy.
Watching Seth kind of just like, whenever we needed something, he would just bolt and run as fast as he could, like to wherever. That was like pretty crazy.
I saw Seth pull out his track star moves running from one side of the set to the other, running across campus to get something to work. He wanted to make his ideas work as much as he could.
What about Seth Rigby makes him so attractive?
Definitely the neon shirts, 100%.
That green one?
For sure, yeah. The green, neon green, the glasses, his yellow scooter. It's just perfect, man, right there.
Neon is the worst thing to wear on a set. He has a ugly neon green or yellow shirt that he constantly wears that gives terrible reflections and colors you would never want. That will ruin your color grading overall.
Overall, he was a great producer. He definitely was involved in everything. And I don't think that people give him enough credit for how much he did for this project. I mean, even now he's doing interviews. Like, this was like supposed to be a mini project for their class, and now I'm giving interviews, and this is going into something bigger than what it was.
Just his unorthodox way of just like filmmaking. Like he's just a very creative mind, and he's also just like very driven. I don't know. At first, freshman year, I thought he was just living some weird character. Like I thought he was just like, all right, this is like how I act, but no, that's really how he is, and like I really appreciate that's how he is. Like, just be who you are, you know.
Everything about him, you have to expect the unexpected because he's just something else. And it's not even in a bad way. Like, everything about him is like new and interesting. Like, I don't even know what he's doing now. Like, I could be down there and he could be just like bouncing off the walls for some reason. I have no idea, but I think that's like the best thing about him.
So odd. So odd guy.
My least favorite part of working with him was really just a lot of the production things of the choices he made. But he really stuck by his choices, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I would love to work with him. So if and when something he comes up with really works, it's going to work. It's going to be one of the most excellent projects he'll ever do.
Once he sets his mind to something, he's going to find out ways to get it done, even if, you know, it's not always like the most comfortable ways to go about doing things. And he is hardworking in that way, and he's a go-getter, and I appreciate that about Seth. So there you go, Seth. There's a little something.
Hi. You hear a lot of like nightmare stories on set, but this wasn't really one of them. It was pretty fun.
There's so many memories. There's so many things that I just think about and laugh at. Like, it's nice because then I also get to see these people outside of you know, this video, and I get to say hi to them and they remember me, and that's kind of like a nice part to like have those friendships. Like now I'm good friends with Spencer, and I'm good friends with Seth, and I'm good friends with Tyler, and all of those people that helped and were a part of this have now become a part of me.
I like to imagine it as kind of like School of Rock-ish. Like we had our own little like School of Rock going on, only instead of like trying to learn how to play instruments, we're trying to film a movie in one day.
And even after the whole entire video was made, we whenever I see Spencer or Rob, I go, "That's Wagner," or Rob, I'm like, "That's the boss. Like I'm gonna get you." Like it's funny to know that those characters you can still portray outside of the video.
I like to watch it from time to time. Yeah, it's
when
it's
you worked on it.
Yeah, it's like nice. Yeah,
course.
It's a good old. Yeah, it's a good old film and something I could walk away say I have knowledge with the lighting and stuff.
The reason we all got through it is because even in the end, everyone was still working really hard. The actors were giving their best on their takes. The crew was, you know, not cutting corners at all. So I think the hardworking nature of a one-day shoot and how hard you have to work to make that happen really was an integral part of what made this film work.
Filming is just, it's kind of what you make it. It's always going to be hard work, so you just got to like make the best of it and enjoy where you're at.
I think it was a really good environment. I think that it got a little strained because everyone was exhausted, but even then people were still there and they were still trying their best and they were still encouraging other people to do their best. So all in all, I think it was a great environment, and that's something that we should all strive to continue with.
Dangerous Delivery was a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy that I get to keep this memory forever of what we got to do here.
Okay, so now what?
Can you ask us what our favorite, if we could describe it in one word, what would it be? You already answered it, but like, I want to do a bit.
If you could sum up your experience in one word, what would it be?
Dangerous. Now you say the word, the second word. Say it.
That doesn't make sense.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Delivery.
Yes! Let's go!
No.
Okay. You're fired.
Is that it?
Mhm.
All right. Good job, me. Great job asking questions.
Of course.
Fantastic work.
Yeah, and
No? Wait. Why did? Oh, it stopped recording. What the hell?
oh, thank God, 'cause I was gonna
It's full.
Okay.
Oh, we're recording in Blackmagic Raw.
So we're gonna have some really nice shots.
Yeah.
Here's my interview. I'm gonna get wasted tonight. See you later.
It says
Yeah.
have a shot at the beginning. Maybe do the shot after the interview of him doing his hand-me-out thing. Holding a slice of pizza in front of the camera, then it zooms out to reveal him.
Do we have a slice of pizza here? That seems a little elaborate.
It does. Let's just not.
Yeah, let's just do the interview. All right, I'll introduce
Okay.
myself.
We are good friends, but just, you know.
Sure.